By Dead End Barbecue. This is real sports talk for the real sports fan. Talk to him, Swain.
Give me 2 shots and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Ben McKee, Go Vols 247. I'm Jason Swain, live from the Low T Center studio. One last game for Tennessee football. All year long in the offseason, we talk about how we can't wait for it to be football season. We do the countdown. We get to the final 100 days. We count it down. We can't wait. Here we go. Last game of the season, bowl game, Music City Bowl versus Illinois. Ben McKee, happy Monday, sir.
Happy Monday, Oos. I hope you and yours are well. Hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas. My family had a very Merry Christmas. It was a sweet ending to a very tough year, and a year I am ready to flip the calendar on and look ahead to the blessings that 2026 will bring. Our last show of the year, I do believe. So hope everybody out there had a very Merry Christmas like my family did, and enjoys their new year and enjoys some Tennessee football in the process, because we talk about it 24/7, but we only get 12, 13 games a season. So that does kind of put it into perspective, even when things are a bit frustrating at times. So hope everybody out there is doing well, including yourself and your beautiful family.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, you're right. We get a few opportunities, and it's going to look different. This game, college football looks different. It's something we have to get used to. Players are opting out left and right. Joshua Joseph, the latest, opt out. And, hey, I couldn't walk away from the Vanderbilt game being my last game of college football. I couldn't do it. But, for some of these guys, they're okay with that. And, that's on them. And it gives a new guy an opportunity to go out there and make a play for themselves, earn some, increase their value, carve out a spot, especially on defense, because Jim Knowles is watching. And
is he watching like Santa Claus?
He watching.
He's even got the Santa Claus beard going on to watch like Santa. He knows when they're being nice and when they're being naughty.
He's watching harder than Santa Claus because you need to show Jim Knowles that you can make plays for his defense next season on defense. And this goes for the defense players. So there's going to be some new faces in there. There's going to be some new opportunities. Also, there's going to be guys that older players that will play more, like a William Wright, who's from Nashville. He's going to get the start more than likely, and he has an opportunity to play his last collegiate game in his hometown. I think it's a great opportunity for him. So everyone has their own reasons of why they want to make sure they put their best foot forward in this football game versus Illinois. I will say, Illinois' uniforms look pretty sweet.
Which uniforms are they wearing? I've seen that Tennessee is wearing the all-white. I have not seen what Illinois is wearing.
They go on all dark blue with the Illinois script helmet and blue helmet.
The Illinois script helmet is elite.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
At least they're not going all orange. It would look weird if
No.
Illinois was the home team and wearing all orange in Nashville.
Yeah, that would be weird. Well, what's that? Go ahead, Vic.
Just a quick thought on the opt-outs. Not to. I'm really not bringing this up to try and throw anybody under the bus, but I can't help but think when you mention what you do. Not only do I absolutely agree with your thought on the Vanderbilt game. How could that be your last taste of Tennessee football in your college football career? Now, I would say or suggest that a guy that's only here for 6 to 7 months probably doesn't care about that after transferring in the spring, or a guy that transferred here and was here for a year and a half and 2 football seasons, that they're not going to care about that the same way that Jason Swain did, because of college football is just different. All right, like I feel like unfortunately that has been lost on some folks, not for everybody. And I don't. Obviously, I'm alluding to Chris Brazzell transferring in and Colton Hood transferring in after the spring. And again, this is just from the outside looking in. I don't mean to just speak in absolutes for those guys. It very may well not be the case. But the point that I'm getting to is, in addition to that sour taste that was left in your mouth, I mean, who of the opt-outs has like guaranteed NFL stock? Like is a bona fide first round pick, a bona fide second round pick? Like, to me, like, why is Joshua Josephs opting out? Maybe he's still he was a bit banged up this season. Maybe he's trying to get healthy, and that's certainly understandable if that's the case. Same with Arion Carter, but like, just from a pure football standpoint and stock standpoint, like I feel like those guys need some more tape, or would benefit from putting more tape out there, good tape out there. And maybe Brazzell, I mean, he's been talked about as arguably the top receiver on the board. We'll see if that was early in the season, so that is dissipated. Remember, Todd McShay had his comment like after the Mississippi State game, so that was really early. But maybe his stock is high enough, but he is no guarantee to go really high in the draft. So just to add on to your point, I do think with some of the opt-outs, it almost feels like guys are just opting out just because they're going to the NFL draft, and it doesn't really matter where they're currently projected to go in the draft. As long as I've got an NFL draft grade and it's worth going, I'm going. Forget trying to continue to elevate my stock in a bowl game.
Well, here's where I will side with the player and understand where the player's coming from, because there's mixed emotions here. Number one, I wouldn't opt out because Vanderbilt game at home, losing in that fashion, will not be the last time I wear the Power T. But on the other hand, you think about the NFL Combine, and hopefully all these guys who are opting out get invites to the NFL Combine. You got about 8 weeks. You got about 8 weeks, man. You got 8 weeks to heal and train. That ain't a long time. And so instead of, playing in this bowl game and possibly, especially Arion Carter, hurting yourself even more, you get a chance to heal and you get a chance to train. And for the guys who played their last game against Vanderbilt, you get even more time. So if you would have played in this game, you only have 8 weeks. The fact that you did not play in this game, you have given yourself, an extra 4 weeks? So that's where I understand it. I get it. I probably would have had to opt out. I would have been forced to opt out because I was.
Are you talking about your individual career, or
my
if you were
situation?
Them?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
like if my agent, and like again, my agent works for me. That's what a lot of athletes need to understand. Your agent works for you. But like, if I would have went through what I went through this year, ankle sprain in October, playing through it, that is a 6 to 8 week injury. We're supposed to sit out. I didn't sit out. I didn't miss a game. And then you have opportunity to rest for 12 weeks and train and prepare. It would have made the most sense to opt out in my case, in my situation. But I never thought about opting out. And I did think about missing the South Carolina game after we played against Alabama, where I couldn't finish, but I still played in the South Carolina game like a dummy. So I get it. Like, again, walking away with your last game being versus Vanderbilt, no go. But not being able to perform because you're hurt is also a no-go. So it's weird, man. Let me get to the phones. The Garza Law hotline, 865-255-03. You can also connect with us using the Beatty Chevrolet text box there on your free Swain Event app for Apple devices. Let's get this thing started. Patiently waiting for, I want to say, 18 minutes, 5 minutes before the show. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Oh, man. All that waiting. Ben, you got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right?
That's right. You can probably blame me. I got us a little sidetracked with my bowl opt-out thoughts. It was probably I'm blanking on his name.
Who? What you blanking on?
Our Will Muschamp buddy. Buck. It was probably Buck Nasty
Buck
hanging
Nasty.
on through the weekend to call in and get your thoughts on Will Muschamp going to Texas.
Yeah. Listen, man. Jim Knowles is a fantastic. Without going into too much details, and without throwing people under the bus, Tennessee is very fortunate to get Jim Knowles. And the folks that wanted Will Muschamp, you have to understand, maybe Will Muschamp didn't want you. All right, let's try this again. Good morning.
Good morning, Jason.
Hey, here we go. Sound like Dustin.
Hey, man. Yeah, it is, man. Hey, hope y'all had a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, you too, man. What's wrong with you, man? Where's the energy? You good?
No, yeah, man. Hey, listen, I haven't been able to get hot, just pumped up about this bowl game or this bowl season. Really, I kind of watched a bunch of duds in these bowl games, but that's what I'm calling this morning, man. I wanted to ask a quick question. I mean, I know we're playing a game and we're going, play in Nashville and all that, but how much stock do you really put in the bowl season now? I mean, outside of the playoffs, with the opt-outs that y'all were talking about, like, you can't really say that we're putting our starting team that we've had all year on the field. And I'm not trying to make excuses. Lord knows that's the last thing I want to do. But, like, I mean, are we really watching these games thinking, well, that's the Tennessee we've watched all year long? I mean, especially, like, this week when we play. I mean, if Illinois, if we go out there and kill them, they're going to say, well, we had some players opt out. I mean, people are going to try to make excuses either way it goes. I mean, I'm not. But, I mean, I'm just looking, and I know we want to get these young players some reps, but I'm like, anymore, it's not what it used to be, I guess, outside of the college football playoffs. But at the same time, I look at it and I think, well, I mean, it could be a springboard, if you get some of those younger players in. But then again, I'm like, well, you're not really seeing – we don't really get to see, like, the send-off, like, that we used to with the older players. Like, I mean, I would love to see Josh Josephs play one more game, man. I mean, I've watched him, for 4 or 5 years, and I'm just like, you'd like to see that, you'd like to see that kid play one more game. Or I'd like to see Colton Hood, who come in this year and just, I mean, he did terrific. I'd like to see him play one more game, but you're just not going to get to see that. So my question for you all is just, what do you take out of a bowl game anymore? Or what should fans take out of a bowl game anymore watching it, since it is kind of saturated with opt-outs and all that? I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great day, and like I said, late Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year. The goal is to win the game. I mean, that's the goal. That's the goal, to win the game. Now, when you think about some of the bowl games so far during this bowl season, like I watched the Clemson-Penn State game in the Pinstripe Bowl. Those two teams were getting after it. The Pop-Tart Bowl between BYU and Georgia Tech, they were getting after it. These were two different games for teams where they knew they weren't going to the college football playoff in October. Two of those teams sooner. And
it was cool to see the emotion of the interim Penn State coach after they were able to win the game.
Yeah, like getting to 10 wins, getting to 9 wins, that was important for those programs. Now, remember when Alabama failed to reach the championship and they played Utah in the Sugar Bowl, and a lot of guys were not focused and they just didn't play well and they lost? Like, we're not at that level yet as a program. Or when, Ohio State, had a couple guys hurt and they failed to reach the playoff, and they wound up playing Mizzou in the Cotton Bowl, and it was Mizzou's Super Bowl. And for Ohio State, was like a failure for them because their expectations are so high. We're also not at that level yet. So I understand for a fan that's looking at these opt-outs and looking at the bowl games and not feeling the same way you did 5-10 years ago. I totally get it. I totally understand. But it is a football game. And there are guys on this team that are trying to go win this game. And there are guys who are trying to finish the right way and finish winning, ending their college career on the high note. A guy like Joey Aguilar. You got Dominic Bailey. You got Bryson Easton. You got a lot of dudes that poured a lot into this program, whether it was 1 year, 2 years, 4 years, or even longer. You got Miles Kittelman coming back from injury just to finish his career the right way. He's a guy who got hurt in the New Mexico State game, didn't play against Florida, didn't play against Vanderbilt. He's coming back to finish the right way. That's why I choose to focus my energy on those guys.
And you throw William Wright in there. I know you mentioned him earlier when we were talking about his opportunity with Colton Hood opting out, but William Wright has seen it all. I believe he is the last of the Jeremy Pruitt era that arrived during the Jeremy Pruitt era. He did as a walk-on. So a guy like William Wright you throw in there. I know he's been frustrating to watch, but Andre Turrentine as well, trying to end his career on a high note in his hometown of Nashville. So I totally agree with you there. And I'm sure there's another guy or two that we're probably leaving off. But I also think that it's one thing that bowl season now brings is a glimpse of the future. And you should be excited to watch Darius Jackson and Travis Smith Jr. on Tuesday afternoon. I know I am. I'm excited to see what those young receivers look like with the opportunity that they are going to have with Chris Brazzell opting out. What about DeJuan Morris with Peyton Lewis entering the transfer portal? Well, maybe DeJuan doesn't get as much of a chance, but he'll get a series. I would think
he should get more than that.
Are you playing him over Star Thomas?
No, I'm not saying I'm like a whole series.
Well, that's how they operate, which is why I said that they do the.
I'll be curious to see.
I doubt that they'll continue to do the Deshaun gets 2 series.
I hope
Star Thomas gets 2, and then Peyton Lewis gets 2. I doubt they'll continue to do that thing that they were doing. But I would think that DeJuan gets a little bit more run than just a series.
He should get more than he did before. You're right.
And you need to, so you can see what you have in him and help you decide. The decision has probably already been made what caliber of back you need to go get out of the portal. But maybe DeJuan shows you some things in the bowl game that makes you feel more comfortable about relying on him next season. So seeing guys play like that, I think, is a reason to get excited. There's some young guys on the defensive side of the ball I would like to see more of personally. Like, what does Jaden Harmon look like in this bowl game in addition to Jaden Perlotti? And getting some young defensive linemen in the mix. Where is Isaiah Campbell at defensive tackle? Where is Marion Dye? And I believe he's playing more of a defensive end. But there's so many young guys along the defensive line that were talked about extremely well coming out of high school. Where are those guys at in their development? An Ethan Utley type, right? Yeah. So I think that's the other reason why it's worth getting excited for a bowl game, while understanding like the end result is not the end all be all, win or lose. Like, there's still reasons to get excited to watch Tennessee play. And again, you're a Tennessee fan, you should always be excited, even if it's a bit frustrating. Be excited to see Tennessee put the power tee on the side of the helmet and put the ball down and go play football. And I know you talked about it, but for me, like, reason number one to get excited is to watch Joey Aguilar likely play for the Vols one last time. I mean, his story this season is incredible, and what he was able to do in a short amount of time coming in and helping Tennessee right the ship after the Nico saga. I think he deserves a nice send-off from the fans. And to me, that's by supporting him in person and online, by chiming in or tuning in and watching him and supporting him in his last game as of all likely.
I think it's okay not to be excited. to be honest.
It is.
I think you could be a Tennessee fan and not be excited about where college football is and where college athletics is based on what's happened with basketball and the silliness that's going on right there, and just not feel it. Like you want to watch Tennessee, and you're going to watch Tennessee, but you don't have the level of excitement. It's okay to want to watch Tennessee, plan to watch them, and watch them without being excited like you were years ago. I totally understand that, and I totally get that. But there are players who are choosing to play football, who are choosing to finish their careers on the right note. Now, Dustin mentioned the fact that, we have opt-outs. Well, Illinois, they have opt-outs too. And they got to deal with replacing players. They got to deal with guys being hurt. We got to deal with opt-outs. At the end of the day, you still got to go play a football game. And whoever wins the game, there's not going to be an asterisk next to it that says dealing with opt-outs. You either win the game or you lose the game.
There was no asterisk next to Nico's win over Iowa in the Citrus Bowl.
Nope, and there was none for Purdue when they beat us because they had the best player in the entire game on both sides out.
Yeah, George Karlaftis, who's still making plays for the Chiefs.
Yeah, so he didn't play. Imagine if he would have played. And so just go win, man. Just go win. Tennessee is still well-equipped to win this football game. Illinois, hey, they're a good football team. They can win this game as well, too. You got Braylon Staley. Dude has a chance to get 1,000 yards this season. He has a chance to get 1,000 yards.
Did Deshaun Bishop get over 100 yards in the or 1,000 yards in the Vanderbilt game?
Nope.
I throw Deshaun on that list as well.
Nope, he did not. And so you got, Aguilar, you got, who has the opportunity to throw for more yards and threaten the single season passing record. You have Staley, and you have Mike Matthews that have a chance to get 1,000 yards. You have Deshaun Bishop with a chance to hit 1,000 yards as well. So, there's reasons. There's reasons why guys, want to play this game and play it the right way. So, that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
865-255-03.
How do you have any feelings about the matchup? In terms of, you feel good about Tennessee's chances, or you're a little nervous, or is it hard to get a read on your feelings because you don't know how Tennessee can say all the right things before the game, Illinois can say all the right things before the game, but do they truly end up being ready to play and hyped up to play and taking it seriously? That's kind of the unknown of bowl season. Is everybody can say the right thing, but how do you show up and your actions matter more than your words, and sometimes the performance in the bowl doesn't always represent that.
Well, I mean, I look at Luke Altmaier, who wants to finish his career the right way as a senior. I look at Joey Aguilar that wants to do the same thing, and I know they're going to make that known to their team, and their teammates want to make sure that they play their best to send their quarterbacks out on the right note because they have a lot of respect for their quarterbacks. I approach this game like I approach any game. Like, you may have a game plan and you may have intentions, but sometimes you come out and the other team punches you in the throat and you are unable to recover. Sometimes the game plan doesn't go the way that you wanted it to go. And so just because it's a bowl game, I don't approach this game any different. I approach it really the same. Illinois, they're big up front, and they have opportunity to control the line of scrimmage and give their quarterback time on the outside versus Tennessee's second and third team secondary. They have a chance to do that. They have a chance to run the football because, I mean, they're over 300 pounds up front. Like, 310, 320, 300. Like those guys are big up front. And so you got to protect the line of scrimmage. You got to play sound football, gap football. The thing that's interesting, the quote I saw that stood out was William Inch talking about the guys being able to play faster without thinking as much. And I'm like, oh well, that explains a lot of what was going on the last year or two or three with the defense. Even though the defense was really, really good last year, there was a lot of thinking, more thinking than maybe these guys were able to handle. This game, playing faster, you're letting it loose. We'll see if that is a recipe for success against Illinois. But you got some young players in there, and at the linebacker position, at the second in the secondary, up front, man, you got to cut them loose. You're not a freshman anymore. You've had a whole season to understand what it takes to play at this level. You got to go play fast. You got to go be aggressive. You got to play fundamentally sound. And I want to see that be displayed tomorrow. So no.
I'm interested to see if Tennessee can generate a pass rush without Joshua Josephs. Not like Joshua Josephs produced a consistent pass rush this season the way Tennessee needed him to. But this is a big game for Jordan Ross and Caleb Herring, I think, needing to, for a couple of reasons. I think they need to show to Tennessee that they are ready to take the next step for next season, because Tennessee's pass rush off the edge was not what it needed to be this year. I personally don't believe Joshua Josephs, Caleb Herring, or Jordan Ross all played to their potential. I think as a group they were very underwhelming this season relative to expectations. So Caleb Herring, Jordan Ross, I imagine they're going to want more money this offseason. This is a chance for them to prove that they not only deserve more money, but that they can be the guy that Tennessee can rely on next year, because it's not at the top of my wish list or list of needs for Tennessee, but like if the right edge rusher presented itself in the portal, I'd take a long, hard look at that position, because again, I think those three guys, and obviously one of them, and Josephs is moving on, but I think Caleb Herring has been very inconsistent and has not been what we thought he would be coming out of high school. And I think Jordan Ross hasn't had the early impact a lot of us anticipated as well. So I don't think it's not like Tennessee can't upgrade that position, even with quote-unquote big names already on your roster, given what they were coming out of high school and their recruiting rankings and this and that. So I'm curious to see if they can produce a pass rush. And Tennessee's going to need it in this individual football game to disrupt Luke Altmaier, because he is a very good quarterback. But then also just individually, like I think it's a money game for them, quite frankly, needing to prove that they are worthy of more money, quite frankly, and that they can be the guy that Tennessee can rely on going into next season.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some guys that will either have to take less or have to go somewhere else. I mean, it's just part of it each and every year, a lot of different programs. All right, let's go back to the phones. 865-255-03. Good morning.
Well, I know one thing. I would not be stepping foot in Kankakee if Tennessee don't get this dub tomorrow.
Oh, man, that's the birthplace right there.
Yes, sir. How we doing, fellas? How we doing?
We're
It's
good,
easy
man.
in Milwaukee, of course.
We're good.
That's good, Ben. Long time no here. I've been, trust me, I've been watching you guys from afar. Life been lifing a little bit, but I'm happy to say that I'm recovered from that injury I told you guys about over the summer with the quad tendon.
Mm-hmm.
Been back driving for about a month, walking around good, walking up and down steps, almost normal, probably about 90-95%. But other than that, I'm excited about the game tomorrow for obvious reasons. I mean, it would be nice to, be in a playoff game or a bigger name bowl, but I'm kind of with you, Swain. It's football. It's a chance for the team to get better, get a stepping stone into next season. And as far as like the other bowl games, I was kind of bummed out a little bit, heading into, the bowl season as a whole. But I thought there was some excellent games this past weekend. And you could tell that a lot of the kids, still cared and, were giving their all. So, it's not like, how it was when we were growing up. Not nearly, not even remotely close to that, but it is good to, still see some of the kids do care, going out the right way. And I'm hoping to see Tennessee do the same thing tomorrow afternoon.
Me too, DZ. I mean, it's different. We gotta get used to it. I mean, it's no point in sitting here talking about where it used to be. It's never going back. We're wasting our energy. We're wasting our breath, wasting our time talking about how it was, back in the day. It's different. Appreciate the guys who are going out there and wanting to play ball the right way. And you're right, DZ. There was some good games this past weekend, where you saw two teams trying to go out there and win, do it, whatever it took. And yeah, there's gonna be some new faces. That's just part of it. So embrace it.
Yep, for sure. Like you said, we have no choice. You either support your school or stop watching. I mean, that's kind of where we're at this point. I know it. For some of the old timers, it puts a bad taste in their stomach because of the NIL and the money and the opting out for the draft. But it's 2026. You gotta evolve with the time. So
pretty much.
Yep. So I'll just ask Ben one quick question, and I'll hop off and listen. Ben, as far as the portal is going so far, I know that the portal actually officially opens on Friday, I believe. Without going into any specifics, have you? What's the buzz around the program right now as far as the portal? Are you expecting us to open up the bag, or are we going to be, kind of conservative as we have been the last couple of years? I feel like we've definitely, picked out some gems in the portal the past couple of years, but it just seems like we picked maybe 3 or 4. I don't want to say mediocre is not the word I'm thinking. Maybe lesser names. We're getting quality players, but lesser names. Are you hearing anything that maybe, we're going to dip into the bag a little bit more this year? You don't have to go into specific positions because I know there's the one glaring one that everyone's talking about. So, like I said, I hop off and listen. It's always good to talk to you fellas. Love.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you calling in, DZ. It's good to hear from you. Glad to hear that you are doing well. I do think Tennessee is going to be more aggressive in the portal this time around. I think it's that simple. Now, that doesn't mean that they're gonna. They have relatively signed small classes the last couple of years. The number of bodies coming in that could still be a small number. I don't know that it needs to be, given all the defensive needs. But I think where you'll see them be more aggressive is with the price tags. Like even if they I think it's as simple as they're willing to swim in the deep end for guys. That's the way that I kind of look at it. That doesn't mean that they're going to bring in a transfer class of 30 when I say that they'll be more aggressive. I think it means when I say that they're going to be more aggressive, I am referring to I think that they're willing to open the checkbook and are willing to spend more money to correct their issues.
Well, the truth is, man, Tennessee doesn't have a choice. We don't have a choice. We have to be aggressive in the portal because there's a lot of making up to do from a defensive personnel standpoint that we have to do in the portal. You were not physically equipped enough to compete at the level you need to compete at in the SEC. and you got to go fix that in the portal. So you don't have a choice. Tennessee is going to be aggressive, Ben. Tennessee is going to spend more money than they ever have in the transfer portal. That will be a fact. Offensively, you don't need as much as defense, obviously, but you should take a look at running back. What's the answer going to be, at center? Is that going to be Pendleton and Satterwhite battling it out and trying to be a little bit better than they were last year because they need to be better? Center was probably the position on the offensive line that was the weakest link. You don't need receiver. Tight end, you are young but deep outside of Ethan Davis. And then you got to go get quarterback. And some of the latest talk regarding the quarterback position, Pete Nakos said that there's a little bit of interest with UNLV's transfer quarterback, Anthony Corlandra. And you look at his numbers, and honestly, I don't even need to look at his numbers, but I'll share his numbers with you. He threw for almost 3,500 yards, 23 touchdowns, 9 receptions, and he rushed for 650 yards. He's from Florida, from St. Petersburg, Florida, and he's 6'205". He was at Virginia for a little bit, but he's a dual threat quarterback with a year to go. I mean, this is a perfect fit for.
When you say a year to go, does that mean he has 2 years or just 1 year remaining?
I mean, do we ever really know these days?
Well, we're starting to now because we're starting to get rid of the COVID. This is the last year of the COVID, folks, I believe.
Yeah, but folks still getting waivers out here for whatever reason.
He will be a true senior this year.
That's perfect. I mean,
This
I think
upcoming
that's perfect.
season. So this will be his last year.
So I think that's perfect for Tennessee. I think that's
It'd
perfect
be the bridge gap to George or Faison.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. So
I agree.
like, Josh Heupel hasn't missed when it comes to transfer quarterbacks. When it comes to high school quarterbacks, that is a different story. But transfer quarterbacks, if he can take Joey Aguilar and lead the league for most of the year in passing with a guy who came in June, do what he did with Joe Milton, do what he did with Hendon Hooker. And I had someone that was like, on social media, that was like, he was not 3 for 3 on those guys. I'm like, he was 3 for 3 on those guys. He took Joe Milton, made him better. He took Hendon Hooker, made him better. He took Joey Aguilar, made him better. There's different degrees of success. But he made a success story out of all 3 of those guys, along with Joey Halsley. Like, you can't deny that. So if he did that with those 3 guys, why can't we believe that he'll do that with the next guy? Especially someone with over 3,500 yards passing, if Tennessee's able to get this guy. But I think this is a good one to get because you're not possibly playing $3.5–4 million for one.
It does seem to, maybe not that much, but it does seem like you're going to have to open up the checkbook, though, because what Pete Nakos also reported was that Florida State is believed to be the front runner, and I'm sure that is going to command quite a bit of money to beat out Florida State for his services.
Maybe.
Also, if you're him, why would you want to go to Florida State? Like, money aside, because if you're him from the outside looking in, I would assume that he can pretty much get the same money just about anywhere. So I know money talks, but again, you can go get money. Money's not going to be a problem for you, young man. Why would you want to go play for Florida State?
Well,
baffles me.
Well, you got to think about it too. He's been at UNLV. He's been in Virginia. He's leaving because this is his big opportunity to get that bag for the last time in his college career.
But he can get that bag at a lot of places, I would think.
Can he? Because he's not high on the list of transfer quarterbacks. There are a lot of other talented quarterbacks who have more than 1 year of eligibility. That's a good fit for us. they may not be a good fit for other programs. They may want a quarterback that can come in and play multiple seasons.
Yeah, maybe so. And he is a native of Florida, as you mentioned. He's from St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
Which is not too close to Tallahassee, but I don't know. To me, I don't know why anybody would want to go to Florida State, aside from money.
Yeah, I don't understand that either.
And if I'm a prospect, Florida State would have to aggressively overpay me after watching them the last couple of years. I know money talks, but money's going to really have to talk if I'm a prospect and Florida State's calling.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't want to be a quarterback in Gus Malzahn's offense because
it's stale.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even about just being in Florida State. It's really about Gus Malzahn. Like every time I see Bo Nix, I get a reminder about how Gus Malzahn is just not really great at quarterback development.
Is the most overrated quarterback developer in college football and has been for a number of years now. And of course, it's not anything against Florida State. It's just when I say that I wouldn't want to touch Florida State with a 10-foot pole, it's because of their inability to develop players the last couple of years. That is why I would not want anything to do with Florida State. Not it doesn't have anything to do with Florida State itself. It's just I don't trust, if I'm a prospect, especially a quarterback, and this is my big year to potentially earn a professional opportunity, I'm not trusting Mike Norvell and Gus Malzahn with that opportunity.
No. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. Ben McKee, Go Vols 247. I'm Jason Swain, live in the Low T Center studio. We'll take a quick time out. Be back after this.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
You don't say.
Fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Guys, you can feel your energy slipping away, losing what makes you, you. It could be low testosterone. Take action now. Low T Center can help reclaim your energy with a quick and simple free T-test. Visit Low T Center and receive pharmaceutical-grade testosterone never compounded like other clinics. Experienced providers increase your testosterone to the level that is just right for you. Treatment is covered by most major insurance with affordable self-pay options available. The best you is waiting. Book your free T-test at trtmvp.com. When you are craving some quality barbecue, there's only one place to go. Dead End Barbecue. Dead End Barbecue has been featured on ESPN's Taste of the Town, the first barbecue restaurant on the SEC Network, CBS Sports, Headline News Tailgate Show, Amazon Prime's The Restaurant Comeback, Food Paradise, and named one of the top 100 barbecue restaurants in America. The search is over. Dead End Barbecue is located on 3621 Sutherland Avenue right here in Knoxville. You can even have it delivered right to your door through Chow Now. Visit their website at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Just because you can't call in doesn't mean that you have to sit on the sideline. Impact the show with a text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
Good morning, Swain Event family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. If your current house is feeling a little too much like a lump of coal this year and you're dreaming of decking the halls in a brand new home, then I'm here to help. Skip the holiday stress and call me, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904 or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. And as always, go Vols.
865-255-03 is the number to the Garza Law hotline. Let's hit up the Beatty Chevrolet text box. Again, I'm Jason Swain, live in the Low T Center studio. Hope everyone had a great Christmas, and New Year's is around the corner, so wishing you a great start of 2026 and a safe start. 865-255-03 is our number. if you want to get in a phone call. I was looking forward to talking to Bud Nasty last time we were on. I guess he upset that we didn't go talk to Will Muschamp. C-Mac, so when y'all say we will be aggressive in the portal, take all of them North Texas players that hit the portal, most of which are probably going to Oklahoma State. Can you see Tennessee being aggressive in those kind of transfer battles? I see Tennessee understanding that they have to address a lot of issues on defense and be willing to spend the money that you are supposed to spend. This is why, amongst other things, you went with Adidas. It's for moments like this. And so I can't speak to who Tennessee's going to get right now and who they're targeting. But you have to do a great job in evaluation. Like, you can't miss. And Jim Knowles, that's why he was hired, to make sure that defensively Tennessee does not miss. Speaking of having a chance for some serious stats or make some serious stats, if Caleb Williams throws for 270 yards, he would have thrown for 4,000 yards in the season. Will Swain paint his nails if that happens? I'm not painting my nails. I don't care if Caleb Williams paints his nails. Dude is balling. No one's talking about it anymore because he's balling. Simple as that. So we are doing a show today. Normally we don't do it on Tuesday, but tomorrow's the game, and we'll be covering the game. So unable to do the show Tuesday, so we bumped it up to today. And then on Thursday's show, we'll throw out some information about that one. Because I'm sorry, I don't think y'all gonna join us on New Year's Day, early in the morning. Some of y'all won't even be awake, and that's okay. So
you can catch the podcast later.
Yeah, we'll definitely have a show later to discuss what happened in the bowl game, and as we move forward. One thing we can say about the defense as we move forward is the fact that Rodney Garner will be on this staff, and so I think he's the most important. I think when you line up his temperament along with Jim Knowles' temperament, from what we've heard, they line up pretty well. And Willie Martinez has been on 1-year deals and could retire. Don't know. William Inge is calling the defense tomorrow. Don't know what's going to happen with him. Chop, we did say, and everyone saw it, that the Leos took a little bit of a step back this year. And so don't know what's going to happen with Chop. So there's going to be changes on defense. That's why the nose was brought in, to fix it. And so I think that's going to happen pretty quick after the bowl game. You saw what Steve Sarkisian did at Texas a couple weeks ago, where he fired defense coordinator and hired Will Muschamp, like in one swoop. I can see Tennessee making moves like that in terms of like coaching moves and roster moves being made, guys hitting the portal. Josh Heupel keeps everything pretty close to the vest. When you look at coaching searches, when you look at things that he's done in the past, there's not been a lot of leakage from him. So, but just expect that a couple days after this bowl game, like there's gonna be some changes for sure.
And there needs to be some changes. The defense was atrocious, and like we said at the time, Tim Banks being let go can't be the only move. Swapping defensive coordinators can't be the only move. The problems ran deeper than just Tim Banks. So it makes sense that there will be moves. I'm very curious on your point about Rodney Garner, Chop, Jim Knowles, and maybe you've already heard something or are already more educated on Jim Knowles' defense than I am, but very curious to see what he does with that edge rusher position. Like, is it still going to be a Leo? Is it going to be a more traditional defensive end? Is it going to be just an edge rusher? Like, I'm really curious to see how he uses that spot in his defense or utilizes that position in the defense. And like, I'm sorry, but I can't help but wonder, does Tennessee really need two defensive line coaches? Because that's essentially what Tennessee has in Rodney Garner and Chop.
Well, I mean, either you can have two defensive line coaches or you can have two secondary coaches. So we've seen some staffs have a safety coach and a corners coach. Some defense coordinators coach a position. Rodney coached the Leos and the defensive line 2 years ago while Chop was kind of his assistant. And so do you go back to that? Does Rodney take over both again, and then you put two coaches somewhere else? So it just depends, man. Like it really just depends on what Jim Knowles, wants to do.
Right, and I'm just curious to see what he does want to do.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Because that's a sneaky part of Tennessee's defense that I don't feel received enough talk or enough criticism, quite frankly. The pass rush was just not at all what it needed to be this season.
I mean, I think the defense is pretty much criticized as a whole.
I'm talking about individual parts of the defense. Everybody wanted to point towards the secondary and the interior of the defensive line, but there was no consistent pass rush off the edge.
I mean, it was the best part of the defense, but it could have been better for sure. Yeah, it wasn't consistent. I don't think no group played consistent all season long. I mean, there was a group that played better than all the other groups. That's wide receiver, but like they have tough games. I mean, they had drops and things like that. So like, I understand what you're trying to say. I get it, but like, I thought they were criticized less than everyone else because the secondary was just that bad when it came to tackling. The linebackers was just that bad when it came to stopping the run and fitting the right gaps and things like that. But yeah, like the pass rush took a step back. It took a step back from years prior. So, no, I get what you're saying. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong, my man.
I appreciate your vote of confidence.
Can we take a position coach from defense and add it to the offense to help hype? Walk, man. Offense don't need any help with another staff member.
What about two offensive line coaches? We've got an offensive tackle coach and an interior offensive line coach. What about two offensive line coaches?
Offensive line has more than one coach. They got assistant. I know. They got assistant offensive line coaches. So,
what about two receiver coaches, an outside receivers coach and a slot receivers coach?
Receivers got an assistant receiver coach too.
What about a running backs coach? They don't need that. Okay. Two quarterbacks coaches?
They already have that.
Joey Halsley getting paid enough for two.
Halsley and Heupel. So no, we can't take. Why would we want to take anything away from defense? Defense need all the help they can get right now.
Here's what. If you were adamant about helping hype on offense with staffing, the move would be Joey Halsley, quarterbacks coach. That's it. Bring in somebody to be the offensive coordinator and call plays, and then hype just manages the game. Or elevate Joey Halsley to offensive coordinator, and he calls plays and is a true offensive coordinator, and then you bring in somebody to be the quarterbacks coach, and Heupel is more of an overseer than somebody that's hands-on. That's what the offensive staff move would be.
No.
If you wanted to make one.
If you wanted to make one just to make one, but that's not necessary.
Yeah, I agree. I was just saying if you wanted to make one.
Normally you have the OC that is the quarterback coach. Normally the OC is able to do his thing and call plays and run the offense. Defense coordinator does his thing, runs the defense. There are certain circumstances where the head coach calls the plays, whether it's defensively or offensively. And that's just a different dynamic. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it could be better, and sometimes it doesn't work. I think for Josh Heupel, I think there needs to be a point where he is managing the game better and allowing Joey Halzle to have, more responsibility. Well, Halzle has to make sure that he's giving Heupel every reason to be able to do that. And so that's just something that they have to work through. Heupel's not going to bring someone else in and run a different offense. That ain't happening.
You know what Heupel needs to do?
It ain't happening. You and I
know what he
that.
needs to do?
Everyone knows that. It ain't happening. What's that?
He needs to bring T. Martin home. He needs to bring T. Martin home.
No, he doesn't.
Promote Joey Halzle to offensive coordinator. T. Martin's the quarterback's coach. Boom.
You can't do this, man.
All the problems are fixed.
People going to think you serious. People going to think you serious.
It's already posted on Facebook.
That's where you got it from?
No, that was my thought. I was joking about how absurd Facebook is.
Yeah, that's
not the people on our Swain Event channel, Swain Event page on Facebook, but the other Facebook communities of all fans. Some of them can get a bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, T. Martin doesn't need to be here. He needs to stay.
I'm joking. For those who didn't realize that was an obvious joke, I am joking about bringing T. Martin home.
Yeah.
They're too busy trying to get Gerard Mayo to come home.
Guys.
Or they could let Peyton be the quarterback's coach.
Yeah, it's time to go. It is time to go, my friend. Stay off of Facebook Tennessee fan pages.
Is that your new your Stephen A. Smith? Instead of stay off the weed, it's stay off the Facebook.
No, just I mean, you appreciate the passion and the loyalty from, fans that love Tennessee, but the great takes and ideas, they don't normally come from there. And a lot of fake news is there too, so you gotta be careful.
It's all DR Vol's fault. He's the one that starts all those pages.
Yeah, you gotta be careful there. All right, Tennessee, Illinois tomorrow. Music City Bowl. Will we see some players hit some milestones? 1,000 yards for Staley, 1,000 yards for Mike Matthews. Will Joey Aguilar break Peyton Manning's single season passing record? Will he pass up Tyler Bray to be number 2? Sean Bishop, will he go for 1,000 yards? So, a lot to play for. And Tennessee has an opportunity to add one more dub to the record to win 9 games. So, a lot to play for. And the guys who are playing, they're playing. And we're going to support them. Ben McKee, Go Vols 247. I'm Jason Swain, live here in the Low T Center studio. Hope everyone had a great Christmas. Tomorrow, Tennessee, Illinois, Music City Bowl. We are out. Have a great day. Peace and love.